вас смотрит весь мир, как на силу способную уничтожить разбойничьи орды немецких захватчиков. На вас смотрят все народы Европы, временно подпавшие под иго немецкой тирании. Как на своих освободителей.
What if I told you that Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin were once allies, not enemies, not rivals, allies? And what happened next didn't just change their relationship, it changed the entire course of World War II. Because this wasn't just a deal, it was a temporary illusion. And behind it, both sides were preparing for something much darker.
He was a person of some kind of demonic nature, terribly cowardly. He was afraid, couldn't find any peace because he felt what he was doing. Can you imagine? They were given quotas. First, 10,000 to be shot. Second, camps. And the camps even requested more people to be executed. It wasn't enough. What was done to people, to society? Everything was deformed. Never, under any circumstances, should this cruelty be forgiven. We lost so much.
In 1939, Europe stood on the edge of collapse. War wasn't just possible, it was expected. But instead of clashing immediately, Hitler and Stalin made a move no one saw coming. They signed the Molotovo-Ribbentrop Pact. Officially, it promised peace between them, but secretly, it outlined something far more dangerous. They agreed to divide Eastern Europe into spheres of influence. Poland would be split in half. Entire nations would disappear off the map overnight. And when the invasion came, it was fast, coordinated, and ruthless. But here's what made it truly dangerous. Hitler never intended this peace to last. Germany attacked Poland from the west, while Soviet forces pushed in from the east. Within weeks, Poland collapsed completely. To the outside world, it looked like two powers had found a way to avoid war with each other. But in reality, this was just the beginning. While Stalin believed the agreement had stabilized things, Hitler was already thinking several steps ahead. He didn't want shared control, he wanted total domination. And for that to happen, Stalin had to be removed.
And if I feel somebody responsible for those horrible things, killing people, injustice, I feel that responsible for this was and is the party, the regime, and the ideology as a whole.
As the months passed, warning signs became impossible to ignore. Intelligence reports started flooding in from multiple directions. Spies, intercepted communications, even foreign governments, all pointing to the same conclusion. Germany was preparing for a massive invasion of the Soviet Union. Troops were quietly being moved east, supplies were stockpiled, entire divisions were repositioned closer to Soviet borders. The evidence was there, but Stalin didn't act. He believed Hitler wouldn't risk fighting on two fronts. He believed the agreement bought him time, and that belief would become one of the most costly miscalculations of the war. Some reports suggest Stalin dismissed the warnings as misinformation. Others say he feared provoking Hitler if he mobilized too early. Either way, the result was the same. When the attack came, the Soviet Union was not ready, and Hitler knew it. On June 22, 1941, everything changed. Without any formal warning, Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest military invasion in history. More than 3 million German soldiers surged across the border in a single coordinated assault. Thousands of tanks rolled forward, aircraft filled the skies. Communication lines were destroyed within hours. Soviet defenses collapsed almost instantly in some regions. Entire units were surrounded before they even understood what was happening.
Hitler's pact with Stalin was always a pact of convenience. For some reason, Stalin believed that he was special, that even though Hitler had violated every agreement, even though Hitler had invaded all these countries, that somehow he would not have invaded the Soviet Union.
It wasn't just an attack, it was a complete shockwave. In the first weeks alone, the scale of destruction was overwhelming. Hundreds of thousands of Soviet soldiers were captured. Entire armies vanished. Cities were bombed relentlessly, and civilians were caught in the chaos. The speed of the German advance was terrifying. It felt unstoppable. And at the center of it all was Stalin, facing the reality that everything he had believed about Hitler was wrong. For a brief moment, Stalin froze. Reports describe him as stunned, even silent, as the invasion unfolded. The leader known for strict control and decisive action suddenly hesitated. But that moment didn't last forever. Slowly, he regained control. And when he did, his response was brutal. Orders were issued across the Soviet Union: no retreat. Soldiers were told to hold their ground at all costs. Units that attempted to withdraw could be punished or even executed. Entire cities were ordered to fight to the last. Industry was moved east, away from advancing German forces. Civilians were mobilized. The country shifted into full survival mode. Even then, the situation remained critical. German forces continued pushing deeper into Soviet territory, capturing land at an alarming rate. It seemed like only a matter of time before major cities would fall. But then, the war reached a point that would define everything that followed. That point was the Battle of Stalingrad. This wasn't just another battle. It became a symbol of resistance. The conditions were brutal beyond imagination. Freezing temperatures dropped far below zero. Supplies were limited. Soldiers fought in ruined buildings, shattered streets, and underground spaces. There were moments when opposing forces were separated by just a single wall. Combat wasn't distant, it was immediate and relentless. The German army, which had advanced so quickly before, suddenly found itself trapped in a different kind of war. Instead of rapid movement, they faced constant resistance. Every step forward came at a massive cost. And then something even worse happened for them. They were surrounded. Soviet forces launched a counterattack, cutting off German troops inside the city. Supply lines were destroyed, reinforcements couldn't reach them. The situation reversed completely. What had once been an unstoppable offensive turned into a desperate struggle for survival. And this time, it was Germany on the losing side. The defeat at Stalingrad marked a turning point. From that moment on, the momentum shifted. Soviet forces began pushing west, reclaiming lost territory step by step. The same invasion that was meant to destroy the Soviet Union had instead weakened Germany beyond recovery. Over the next years, that push continued relentlessly. Battle after battle, the Soviets advanced further into occupied territory, and eventually, in 1945, they reached Berlin itself. The capital of Nazi Germany was surrounded. The war in Europe was coming to an end. In the final days, Hitler's empire collapsed under the pressure. The man who had launched the invasion, believing it would secure total victory, was now facing defeat. And the leader he betrayed, Stalin, had outlasted him. In the end, that single decision, the choice to break the pact and attack, became one of the most important turning points in history. It transformed the war, reshaped global power, and led directly to the fall of Nazi Germany. And even today, it leaves one question behind. If Hitler had never betrayed Stalin, if that alliance had lasted just a little longer, how different would the world look now?
Долгие годы Колыма была цитаделью сталинских репрессий, одного из самых чудовищных периодов в русской истории.